Well, it's Monday evening, and I have no ideas. Just absolutely got nothing. Hello, chat. How's everyone doing? Our craft Get to Know Nature. Angela's Folly coming in with tea and quail. As per the secret handshake. Have I changed the title of this stream? I definitely haven't. Let's make that not a lie. Let's pretend that I'm good at using OBS and Twitch. Use our imaginations. And pretend I know what I'm doing. Hello, Evolve. Well, I don't know what's happened here. There we go. Well, you know what? Let's just start with something good and simple. Not this though. This. We'll start with this. Let's just ink some bird horror. Just to get things going. Just to have something to put on paper. Get out, Mr. Natural. Mr. Natural. That's not. There we go. Get out the Mr. Natural brush. And ink a cormorant. Cormorant? You know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at. Anna Overseas says, has today been Monday all day? It has. I know. Weird, right? I worked the weekend for a Monday deadline as well. So I've got a general confusion about what day it is. But I have a big whiteboard behind me that tells me what I'm supposed to be doing and when. And I just do what the whiteboard says and everything is fine. Uh-oh, Anna Overseas thought it was Sunday all day. I hope you didn't have any Monday things that you've accidentally misplaced. Because it's definitely not Sunday anymore. I know that we usually put Bird D&D in close, but I feel like since we're underwater, it's fine. Angela's Flaw says if only people wanted to pay you to make eldritch horror birds in your normal job. I feel the same way. Yes, if only that was if anyone wants to make an eldritch horror bird game, I'll animate that for you for money. I need to specify that it's for money. Just in case that was unclear. Get to Nature says time has no meaning anymore. It could be any. It could have any day. Yeah, it's. I don't know. And Anna is working on their dissertation. But should have called their supervisor. Oh dear. Angela's Folly. I don't know why someone wouldn't want to make an Eldritch Horror bird game. I'm here for it. It's a great idea. Giving that idea to the internet for free. Anyone who's prepared. Just go for it. Oh, it's true. Time has so little meaning that we somehow gained an hour. Only that's a lie. We just renamed the hour, and that it's Tuesday in Germany already. Time has never had any meaning, it turns out. This whole time. It's just that we've only now noticed. Oh no, Necrobuffalo forgot about time zones for a second. Panicked that it was later than they thought it was. Oh dear. No. It's fine, everyone. Everything's fine. I understand that that's quantifiably untrue. Everything is not fine. But just in this moment, take a deep breath. Everything right now, in this moment in time, is fine. Yes, I hope that everyone stays safe. If you have to go in person to vote tomorrow, please be sensible, especially if you live in a state where voter suppression is likely. We've seen some not ideal things already. Watch yourselves out there, my friends. Man overseas has got to go walk the puppy. That, you know, if the puppy has to go for a walk, what can you do besides agree? None of us has the right to counter that. I have already voted, so I will be hiding. I have considered, and I'll probably ask on Twitter, but I'll ask you here now. While we're here, I might do a game stream through some of the election evening to specifically not think or look at it. If anyone else might consider joining me. The other thing I thought of doing was seeing if someone would give me permission to live read a book. But you have to get, you know, the author's permission and such for that kind of thing. And that can be tricky to do on the internet. But I find often my best distraction is other people relying on me to say words out loud. So I might distract you and myself through the election evening via some sort of casual entertainment that is not me drawing things, because I don't know that I have the emotional or mental capacity for that when I'm intentionally avoiding thinking about something else. But we could have story time or game time. Things to not watch the news instead. Because the news. Oh, the news. Also, while I'm live streaming, I can't constantly check Twitter, which helps. Angela's Fly says, I follow someone on Twitch who lives in a suppressed state He ended up in a 45-minute line 2 Fridays ago at 8 a.m. He was both angry about the voter suppression and gratified that no one was leaving the line. Yeah, hopefully most states, even ones that are bad about voter suppression, are doing early voting days, letting people line up on different days instead of all having to line up on one day on Tuesday. Here's hoping. Here's hoping that everything stays safe and okay, or as safe and okay as it is now, and not less safe and less okay. I mean, the ultimate goal, of course, is more safe and more okay, but I feel we'll set low bars. That might be for the best. Oh, good. MusicBot. MusicBot thinks that maybe we should talk about something else, I think. I think we're stressing out MusicBot. I know. I'll tell a heartwarming story about what a weird child I still am. I recently got an email from my mom sharing with me the fate of a large tub of extremely realistic plastic reptiles that I had as a child. I had standards, so I would only really like the ones that looked super real. Like full-size monitor lizards and turtles and tortoises and snakes. Just a whole big tub of them. There was a blue-tongued skink. There was probably an iguana. Anyway, they'd just been in the place that all things you had as a child go, your parents' cellar. And my mom had been trying to find someone who would want them, someone to give them away to. And today she sent me photos of the person who received them just hugging a monitor lizard, standing and just grinning, huge, hugging a giant plastic monitor lizard, and a whole Halloween display incorporating like dozens of plastic reptiles. And it was the most heartwarming thing I've seen in weeks. It made me so happy. A child after my own strange heart. With her friend, a life-size plastic monitor lizard. And you know, that was a nice moment of joy as we all wait for the horrible outcome. With the pessimism that 2020 has ingrained in me anyway. Chad is discussing how a city bus thwarted a cavalcade of impromptu Trump parade cars. Public transit, the heroes that we need. I see past Sarah just pretended to draw most of this pelican. Just made that up, didn't I? Am I gonna continue to leave it like that? Probably. Turns out. Turns out I don't have a better idea. So what do we think, chat? Do we think video games or dramatic book reading? Oops, that was too many undos. That was the one undo I wanted. There we go. Photoshop. Why you gotta be like that? Angelus Folly says, to be fair, past Sarah was very close to end of stream. Yeah, I think I was just I was trying to get all three stories in there. Got some Oregon solidarity going on in chat. But if I read a book, what book could I possibly read? Do I know anyone I could convince? I did a little short story for patrons, a little audio book sort of short story, but it was a short story my sister wrote, so it was easy to get permission. After she remembered that she wrote it, I had to describe it in detail, and then she wasn't convinced that it was a thing that she'd actually done. She wasn't convinced until she found it on her hard drive, in fact. It's got quail, quail, and then quail question mark, says chat. Hi, Honeycomb. Mouse Curl says, what about Ursula? And I feel the need to point out that I don't actually know Ursula. That I am only connected in the strangest, most tangential way. Because that's how Twitter works. They might be scientists. Yes, we're inking something terrifying. I had no plan for today. I worked all weekend. There's some election anxiety going on in everyone's life, but mine as well. And I thought I would just ink the thing we did on Friday as a starting point to have something to do. I'm told I'm allowed to claim that I am Ursula adjacent. Fair enough. I can't really argue that point. Oh no, they might be scientists. You're legit phobic of pelicans. Okay, hang on. We have to go back to Friday for a minute, friends, because They Might Be Scientists was not present in chat for the beginning of Friday's Halloween stream. On Friday for Halloween, we played a game. We made a list of birds, a list of spooky things, and a list of sort of a location situations, and then we put one of each together to make 3 different scenes. And the first bird that just came up was the pelican. And They Might Be Scientists chat was aggressively anti-pelican. Just surprise. I'd never thought about pelicans before much. But chat was very pelicans or eldritch horrors. Chat came down hard on pelicans or eldritch horror already. Hi Jabberwocky Pie, welcome to chat. It wasn't one person being like, oh, I'm afraid of pelicans or pelicans are awful. It was like there were maybe 2 people. Get to Know Nature was on the side of okay pelicans, and then one other person in chat was like, but pelicans are fine. Everyone else was like, pelicans are eldritch horrors. They're horrible monsters. No idea. I had no idea that pelicans were that bad. I am sorry, They Might Be Scientists, that you have shown up in the middle of me inking your phobia in a way that's possibly like worse. Like I've made it worse. And I apologize for that. So, just don't look, listen to me talk. Here, I'll move on to inking the tentacles. Jabberwocky Pie, the tentacles are not technically Shepard's fault. The tentacles are because eldritch horror was the spooky thing that we combined with pelican. It was eldritch horror, pelican, and sunken ship was this one. For a review, we also did, I think they're still in here. I think my list is still here, right? Yes. We did pelican, eldritch horror, sunken ship, a loon, quail zombies in a corn maze, and oyster catchers, illegible messages on a wall, and the Cordelia movie poster. The Cordelia movie poster we finished. I'll just turn off some layers here so you can see that. The Cordelia movie poster we inked because I was too amused to stop. I just got too excited. Couldn't help it. Had to finish it. Still brings me joy. And then the other one is proper zombie horror. Fighting a loon. So. But yeah, I got really amused by the Oyster Catchers horror movie Cordelia poster. I think I'm never not going to find it funny, the Cordelia poster. I know the internet has moved on, but I haven't, and I might not. I think I might always find it amusing. It may never get old. And I'm okay with that. I feel like that's fine. The internet can leave me behind. I'll just be over here snickering at the Cordelia movie poster forever. Ah, sheep. We've invented a sheeptopus, invented another animal. That's also probably an Eldritch Horror. The tentacle references, though, are because Shep wants me to draw them with the tentacles they wish to be growing because they are part of a COVID vaccine test group, subject group. Have we done a sheep topiary hybrid? We haven't, Angela's Folly, but we should. We should go back to botanicorns and do a sheep topiary. Yeah, it sort of has to, it always has to be octopus. Jabberwocky Pie says if Shep had tentacles, would they then be a Sheptopus? Yeah, because squid doesn't make a good word game. It's hard to make clever word jokes with squid. Maybe we could do some ink puns and tattoos, but beyond that. Beyond that, I don't know. Oh, Cephaloshep is good. Oh, I like Cephaloshep. That's a good one. That's a better word game. Word game word. More potential. Good work, chat. Shepalopod. A shepalopod with a flock of sheeptopuses. Excellent. Just be here, carefully drawing tentacles. Drawing tentacles, trying to keep it zoomed in so as not to disturb. They might be scientists. I tried warn about spiders and snakes, but I admit it did not occur to me to warn against pelicans, which is odd given how strongly I realized everyone reacts to them now that I've learned how chat thinks they're terrible. Oh, Valkyrie says, also, can we just appreciate for a moment that Sarah is drawing these tentacles super casually? Trying to figure out those shapes would give me anxiety. Yeah, I actually, anything organic doesn't. It's great. Love drawing organic shapes. They don't matter. They can be whatever you want. You don't have to think about them. They're just squidgy tentacle lines. Oh, good. They might be scientists is fine with drawings. No worries. It's fine. I just, given it was funny to me, given Friday chat's aggressive dislike for pelicans. It was just a great follow-up to why is everyone already so disturbed by pelicans? Then I googled images of pelicans diving and was like, "Oh, I see why. I see why they're a little bit disturbing now. They look like such nice normal birds when they're in the air or just paddling on the water." Just gotta make this sunken ship mast work here. Mast is the crossbeam is thinner. That's part of the problem. We're looking a little bit too crucifix here. Can't have that. I bet there's a way they attach in the middle. Necro Buffalo, are you Googling to see if Australian pelicans eat toddlers? Ah, good. Picture them diving. That's probably safer. I'm gonna have to Google masts for ships. Because I don't know. Oh, it's like it's just tied on with ropes. Well, all right then. Oh no, of course it's tied on with ropes because you have to be able to lift and lower it. How silly of me. Jabberwocky Pie says if art historians in several centuries try to analyze your work without context, they will be so confused. Yeah, but that's the fun of it. Can't have future generations understanding you. Imagine all the things we must get wrong all of the time. What did I made a text layer. Why did I do that? By pushing the wrong button. That's why. Oops. Those things don't line up. There's a total train of thought when you said need to make sure it looks like a ship's mast and not a crucifix. And I was thinking about how often people will talk about the symbolic meaning of such and such detail, says Jabberwocky Pie. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Having taken a lot of art history classes. You are quite right. That was the wrong button. That someone will attempt to explain what the ship's mast means. fait accompli says, came by to say hi and I'm not sure what I'm looking at. And then, oh, I read back and see it's not a crucifix. Oh, good. I'm not sure that it's actually good. I'll just zoom out so that you can see what you're actually looking at. Because what you're actually looking at is Eldritch Pelican Horror, as Otenchi 3 says. So I don't know if it not being a crucifix is better. Really? Oh no! The beginning of it. No. There'll be rope. It's fine. I'm not sure if the rope actually helps. In the end. But it's probably fine. I'm sure that we'll find a way to make it fine. Is this how they're actually tied on? No, it's not. And I'm doing it anyway. Jabberwocky Pie tried to say tentacle pelican several times fast and has failed. It's about enunciation. Tentacle pelican, tentacle pelican, tentacle pelican, tentacle pelican. It's got a nice rhythm actually. Bounces. Like a Gilbert and Sullivan patter song. The syllables have a nice rhythm. Tentacle pelican. And it's the same sort of like, it has the same shape. I don't know. It's, you know. Ooh, Fate Accompli says if you want to summon a really sharp one, try Shuriken Tentacle Pelican Pentacle. That's just a Gilbert and Sullivan song. This is the Pirates of Penzance. The Pirates of Pelicans, says Shiana Serene. Yeah, Shuriken Tentacle Pelican Pentacle. Shuriken Tentacle Pelican Pentacle, Shuriken Tentacle Pelican Pentacle. Valkyrie says this sunken mast has a big dead men tell no tales energy. That is its goal. I feel possibly it's helped by the fact that there is a horrifying pelican monster. But the point is to be a sort of a creepy sunken ship. With the tattered mast, just a bit of the tattered sails here. We'll have floating in the ocean. Breathe. Current is the word I was looking for. Thanks, brain. Always coming through in a pinch. I apologize if the rest of this stream is just me humming Shuriken Tentacle Pelican Pentacle. Because it might be. I'm not. As everyone else in the world. What did I do there? I'm not in the most sound place, stress-wise, at the moment. Although I did finish my deadline and everything is good and all of the work is good work that I am not embarrassed about having given to someone who paid me money. And And that's all anyone can ask, really. Barnacles. Yes, thank you, Chet. Chet is congratulating me on defeating the deadline. Yeah, once I feel like I was not as bad about deadlines as I am now. I suspect that's because of the world. But lately I have a tendency to have a really difficult time focusing until my brain realizes that it has to do the thing or fail. And somehow the actual possibility of imminent failure trumps its need to trumps. Damn it. Ruined a whole perfectly good word. Overcomes its desire to avoid thinking about anything. And then I have to do my work. As I said on Twitter, I appreciate this about my brain because the other option is that it doesn't do that, and then I would be missing so many deadlines. So brain, I appreciate you and your ability to panic focus. Oh, good. Anna Overseas has returned to tell us that their friend's 5-year-old once pointed out that tentacle rhymes with pentacle. Raising the children right. So we've inked this horror. So that's complete. Patrons, you'll get this in the post at the end of today. For coloring pages, because I know that what you've been waiting for this whole time is to color a pelican with tentacles coming out of its mouth. I just know that that's what you've been waiting for. All of the unicorns and the happy birds with swords and all of that, that's not what you wanted. What you wanted was Eldritch Horror Pelicans. Well, don't worry. Gotcha. Eldritch Horror Pelican coming to Patreon for you. Deep down is an Eldritch Horror Pelican what everyone wants, says Fait Accompli. Alright, saving that file. I guess now we'll ink this horror thing. There was one thing anybody wanted less than Eldritch Horror Pelican. It might be Zombie Quail. Because I really went for it with the Zombie Quail, as I remember. As I'm looking at it now, thinking, oh yeah, I really tried for horror there. Do zombie quail eat brains? Says Jabberwocky Pie. I mean, I assume so. If that's sort of the quantifying factor, isn't it? If they ate just seeds and grains, they'd just be quail. Unsure. Grains. Yeah, let's focus on this loon for the start instead. Warcraft says Zombie Quail is my Eldritch Horror Pelican cover band. Yeah, I really went for it with the Zombie Quail. I think I felt I hadn't been Halloween-y enough yet. That I had something to prove. And the thing I had to prove was that I can draw dead quail, I guess. It's true, Jabberwocky Pie says, I mean, an undead bird just staggering around would still be somewhat concerning, even if it wasn't trying to eat your brain. Yeah, I feel like, actually, that the brain eating isn't the main risen from the dead horror so much as it is the fact that dead bodies are just sort of meandering around. I mean, you know, eating brains is definitely not great, but not the worst part. Just more of an extra bit of horror. Angela's Folly is Chestnut is listing groupings of words for me. Cordelia Sandpiper Tentacle Pelican Carrion Quail. Doesn't have the same ring to it as Shuriken Tentacle Pelican Pentacle. Poor Loon says fait accompli, its denser body isn't going to save it this time. What layer? This layer. Good. I feel like I need to touch up some of my choices with this loon. Head isn't quite right. And then I swap my colors. That's fine. And MusicBot, what have I told you about people talking? What have I told you about creepy whispers? Well, Jabberwocky Pie, bringing us all our fact for the day. Well, it's hearsay. It's not actually a fact. It's they say, I'm told chickens and stuff will sometimes try to eat themselves if they're injured. And that's a thing that we know now. It's 2020, says Otenshi 3. No one's head is quite right. True story. Chat in a discussion of whether worms living in zombie quail would be eaten by the zombie quail have come down on the side of yes, they would be. Reporting to you the important conclusion of such a debate. I'm still trying to get this loon right here. There we go. That's more like it. I intentionally made it look angry. I should do that again. There we go. I'm running out of tea and my voice is already getting scratchy. You know, there's a question because it's I've left it a little bit unclear as to whether the loon is in fact attempting to banish or raise the army of zombie quail. Actually, it could go either way. Jabberwocky Pie wants to know, what would you do with an army of zombie? What would you use an army of zombie quail for? To fight your very small enemies, Jabberwocky Pie. Anna overseas can't hear the music. I have levels on the music. I can turn it up. Does anyone else have issues hearing the music? Anagome says everyone has a tiny enemy somewhere. As always, chat, please let me know if the audio levels are weird. There's been music this whole time. Can we hear the music now? I've turned the music up. Good. Okay. I mean, the music stopped now. Give it a second. There we go. I'll just turn it up for you. It's always a little tricky to do the audio for the stream when I'm using music because I can't hear the music at I can't hear the music. I can hear it, but it's at a volume that's too specific to my computer, not to broadcast. The broadcast settings are different. So I'm guessing based on the indicators. What volume is that? Fait accompli, helping us decide what our army of zombie quail are for, says, when we talk about an army of quail, do we mean just like a large group of quail, or is there some sort of hierarchical structure that obeys commands passed down the line, training in combat, and some basic equipment? No, I think that it's just a horde of zombies. It's just a horde of sort of shambling undead abominations. They act as a flock. For all the good that does. And just sort of shamble towards your enemies. Fait accompli, correcting our assumption, says, I think that's more of a mob of zombie quail. If there's no chain of command, apparently it's a mob. Jabberwocky Pie says, if I'm a Dark Lord, it's zombie army, though. I feel like once you've raised enough zombie quail, you can call it whatever you want. I mean, who's gonna correct you when you come at them with an army of zombie quail? Oh, that's kind of a great mental image. Dark Lord shouting, bow before my dark armies. His enemy is going, is it an army? Are there commanders? It's really more, I mean, it's really more of a loose mob, isn't it? And the Dark Lord shouts, "Be silent," and, like, attacks you with zombie coil. Welcome back, they might be scientists. We've moved on to zombie coil. Arcraft says, I think there are a lot of people whose last words would be, well, actually. That's, yeah, agreed. That's probably a fair point. Probably an alarming number of people whose final words would be to semantically correct the Dark Lord or Dark Lady. Especially if it's Dark Lady instead, says Arcraft. Yep. Ooh. Somebody's sharing craft projects. We love craft projects. Oh, look at that. Somebody's made some bugbear earrings. Oh, very cool. I know what. Okay, sorry. My brain just stopped and I was like, those lines don't look right. It's because they were going in the wrong direction. Oh wait, this is Bird D&D. I have to pretend that they have hands. That's always disconcerting and difficult. Let's see if we can do it. There we go. It's all fine and good. Apparently Jabberwocky Pie is crocheting a gelatinous cube, as one does. And Shanna Serene's still working on the quilt that they showed us. I think it was Friday, a past stream anyway. We shared an excellent image of the quilt in progress that Shanna Serene is working on. If anyone else has craft projects or art projects they would like to share, feel free to send a link to chat. We'll tell you how cool you are and how much we like your work. Because, you know, I'm an artist. I know how much you need that sometimes. Ann Overseas is knitting a blanket. Awesome. They might be scientists sharing a fun acronym. They would like to point out that the EU cattle carcass grading standards spell out Euroop. EUUROOPP. Goodness. Ooh, photos of knitting projects. Oh wow, that's a really nice complex cable pattern. Very cool. Put the text off screen there. Just nudge that over. There we go. Very cool cable pattern. I like sort of the long over crosses that it looks like ropes tied with other ropes. Just looking at it makes me slightly confused as to how to make it. Very cool. That's some intense cabling. I don't know if anyone's ever told you this, chat, but you're the best chat. My chat's the best chat. It's just a fact. I'm sure other chats try, but they just can't be as good as this chat. And overseas says, miss my knitting group from the before times. Yeah, wasn't it nice when you got to go out and do your hobbies with people? That was fun, wasn't it? Those were the good old days. Pottery studio. Sometimes I went to a yoga class with other people in a small room. The madness. And Jabberwocky Pie made a plushie of Shannon McGuire's D&D character and got a commission out of it, so that's awesome. Get to Know Nature is building up a stock of the happiest, cutest photos to put on Twitter because we're gonna need them. Yeah, that facts. Oh, Tenchi3 says wants to know if Honeycomb is going to take that kind of commentary on chat superiority. I mean, it is. I have painted Honeycomb into a corner in that Honeycomb is in my chat, and therefore would ultimately have to disparage herself in order to put chat down. And there is a significant amount of overlap. I seem to have spread, at the very least, I've spread the gin to Hannah Combs Wednesday streams. I'm proud of myself, not gonna lie. Now I recall this being magic, but I do not recall what past me was thinking it was meant to look like. Possibly Eldritch Fire, which is what I'm going with now, because I have no better ideas. Arcraft says also you were in her chat, so that makes it even more complicated. It's true. I say we just pretend it's the same. I'm just gonna claim that we can both claim superiority. Oh, it's Pokemon. I'm like, I'm not sure why we're talking about Ultimate Sheep. I don't know what happened. I missed something. But yeah. There's apparently... It's number 832 of the Pokemons. Good night, Fait Accompli. Thanks for coming by. Joining us for a fairly casual Monday stream. This is what happens when I don't plan ahead. I work on something unplanned and say words without thinking about them and hope for the best. So, Arcraft points out that I guess it depends what the loon is doing. If they're turning undead, it could be sort of a holographic holy symbol. Yeah, I feel like we have less of a cleric vibe, more of a necromancer vibe, accidentally. That's fine. I accept this. I accept this as the reality in which I create. I accept this is a thing I have done to myself. Well, I just didn't draw that second foot at all, did I? I just let that be a mystery. It's fine. It's fine. Figure it out now. Oh no, Arcraft it's already far later than I thought, so gin time. Yeah, gin time. Jabberwocky Pie says it's probably a good thing Stardew Valley doesn't have zombie quail, forgetting that Stardew Valley has evil chickens. You just wait until in our Stardew Valley Darkest timeline we get a witch chicken. A demon chicken. A cursed chicken. Arcraft forgot to prepare the gin list. Well, that was fun. We've drawn a nice loon. Its feet are just weirdly out of scale, I feel. But what would be in scale? They should be up. Let's see if we can fix it. It feels like they should be up here and larger. Like that. Yep. Like that. Nope. Just move the one thing. Thank you. Do the thing, Photoshop. That's a little bit better. Oh, current quilt status. Update on the quilts. Oh, this is another excellent image. A complicated piecing project. Right, zombie quail. Now we have to ink the zombie quail. That's what it's come down to. We have no choice. All that's left is the zombie quail. I don't know. I might leave out the corn stalks. I think they are a little distracting, honestly. For the inked image. And you know, zombie quail. Really want the focus to be zombie quail. Angela's Folly, looking at the gin list, which is the gin list we've been having for a while. Their basic, the Breaks Distillery Basic Gin, Barrel Aged Reserve Gin, the soccer team one, their local soccer team, which I think we all know none of us are going to vote for until the end. Cannabis Gin, Winter Gin, and Summer Love Gin. I feel like Cannabis Gin. I feel like, yep, of all the nights, tonight is the night for Cannabis Gin. Unless it's tomorrow night. But yeah, let's go Cannabis Gin. Chat's behind me. On the Cannabis Gin. There's a great deal of support. We all want to know about Cannabis Gin.
I was walking one day when I happened upon an old man.
Nope, music, you don't get to talk to me. We're just gonna have to swap to a new thing. What have I told you about talking out loud to me, music? Arcraft says, honestly, I'm surprised this took as long as it did. I mean, there were so many good, appropriately, like, themed ones. Oh, I don't remember what the inside of skulls looks like. I'm just gonna fake it. It's probably fine. Me saying I don't remember what the inside of skulls looks like is reminding me of the time that I was doing the Scruffy Unicorn Shep portrait piece for like a special Saturday thing, and I was there just like, oh yeah, I can just draw a human skull. That's no problem. I know how to draw a skull. That's just a thing I know. Drawing piles of human skulls in the background. Just like, oh, you know, that's easy. No problem. Oops. Oh, Jabberwocky Pie creeping themselves out, imagining scenarios involved in getting attacked by zombie quail. Well, Arcraft says, so annoyingly, they say it has 11 other botanicals, but don't tell us what any of them are. Which is sort of, yeah, that's not fair. I like the botanicals list. They're fun. Oh dear. Chat's talking about the good old days of cannabis. And learning what it smelled like for the first time. Unlike Jabberwocky Pie, who's still worried about zombie quail attacks. Still just thinking about the potential for killing your enemies with zombie quail. As you do. Oops. Zombie quail assassin, says Jabberwocky Pie. I feel like zombie quail are more like leaving a poisonous snake in someone's bed. They're a nasty surprise, but not necessarily the most effective. Yeah, exactly. Jabberwocky Pie says not enough sentience to be characterized as an assassin. I feel like that's like a very different zombie lore right there. I figure if you can send a zombie in as an assassin, that's a whole different. Then are they just vampires? Risen from the dead with all of their faculties intact. Our craft says since there's not much to talk about in terms of botanicals because they don't give us the list, I'll move on to tasting the cannabis gin. Oh, or a lich. That's, yeah. Lich is gonna make good assassins. Yeah. So if you want to raise something from the dead and send it against your enemies, make it a lich. There's a moral of the story for 2020. If you need to slay your enemies with something that's undead, make it a lich. Oh, Shiana Serene, wouldn't that be a lichit? Making a lich pun. A thing that admittedly doesn't come up that often. Uh-oh. They Might Be Scientist says that their cat is making her "this is an emergency" yell. Want to bet on what she defines emergency? I think there's a lizard in your house. They Might Be Scientists. That's what I think the emergency is. That's my guess. Meanwhile, our craft working on a cannabis gin review comedy routine. Says, dude, if you think about it, gin is just like tea, but like with alcohol. Pulling the taste out instead of heat, which is sort of weirdly also true. Other guests about the cat emergency from They Might Be Scientists include Food Bowl in all caps and is there a weird bug? We all wait eagerly for news of the cat emergency. I said lizard because my late little black cat, the loudest yell I'd ever heard her make, the most insistent meow, was when there was a skink on top of a bookshelf and she couldn't reach it and she wanted it so badly that she was screaming at it. And Arcraft says, and yes, I am joking because my country sucks, and so the major botanical is exclusively male hemp plants. Alas. You should just have to change your edible cannabis to edible cannabis in exchange for a social safety net. Oh. Too dark. Okay, let's see how we look in there. Ooh, so who's chat's favorite zombie quail? Ask Angela's Folly. I know which one is my favorite. But which one is your favorite? Oh no, Shadow Screens his hand and make a poll. Oops, I noticed something that I did not account for in the sketch. Here we go. Just gotta. There we go. I'll make the rest of that quail there. Oh, I like that you're giving them like descriptive names. Skull quail and skinless face. Head back skull quail. I'm gonna call the first one Legless. Legless, skull quail, head back, and broken foot. They might be scientists. Apparently, letting us know that apparently the emergency was their lunch. Not the cat's lunch, but they might be scientists' lunch. Do we need the background? I don't know. The background kind of doesn't. It just takes up so much visual space. Well, we'll add it for a bit and see how we feel. Yeah, that middle quail here is the most recently dead. It's it's the best preserved. Best preserved of the zombie quail. Which I guess isn't really a high bar. Alright, back to the gin. Arcraft tasting the cannabis gin. Arcraft says, here is where I once again out myself as a tremendously boring person by admitting that I have no experience with the fun variety of cannabis. Arcraft, do not worry. I also have no experience with the fun variety of cannabis. Aside from sitting in groups of people who were smoking it and having to sort of constantly remind them that I did not want it passed to me, which is gets worse the longer that goes on. So as such, Arcraft says, I can't attest to the accuracy of the taste. I actually assume that the sort of that the taste must be different depending on how you process it anyway. I say, having no knowledge of it at all. I'm just assuming it's sort of like tea. Different depending on how you infuse it. Evolve says sometimes it can smell, quote, minty. Arcraft says that it does, however, have a strong herbal aroma. So that's something. I guess I'm committed to doing this corn. Yeah, you know, it's good. I'll keep doing the corn. Makes sense. Gives the background something to liven it up. Jabberwocky Pie says cornfields do make everything more eldritch. It's true. Necrobuffalo, giving us some actual information about the use of cannabis in things, says it depends a lot on the strain. But I have no idea if it's still true if you're cooking or other things with it. Kitchen Nature says I'm allergic to corn, so it adds another level of horror. Uh-oh, they might be scientists says, guess who forgot they're teaching a statistics tutorial in 10 minutes? I bet they might be scientists. I bet they might be scientists forgot. Hope that you've got a lesson plan. Oh, good. It's more of a show up and ask questions session, so that should be fun. No problem, then. No problem, then, says Sarah, who's streaming with no idea and just inking something that I've already made because I didn't know what to do. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh no, outliers and what to do with them. Oh no, statistics. When I learned about outliers and statistics, that's when I realized that statistics is it's not math, it's just magic. There are no real rules. It's all just made up. Yeah, they might be science that statistics is magic you write down. Angelus Flazzla admit they thought that they were bamboo, not corn. They are a related sort of grass. They grow in a similar shape. But corn has the drapey down leaves, and bamboo has shoots with leaves that come out of the like that. They might be scientists explaining statistics as statistics is magic you write down. Everyone makes assumptions, but statistics, you need to write them down. And assume that the next person to read your materials and method has a chainsaw and knows your address. And Evolve says, lecture complete. It's magic. Any questions? Yep. First time someone explained to me outliers, I was like, well, this has all been a lie. Statistics doesn't mean anything. Everyone's been making it up this whole time. And no one told me. And Artcraft's final word on the cannabis gin is, but it's not that exceptional, I probably won't buy it again. Unless they get to use the other sort of hemp. Fair enough. Jabberwocky Pies says, I kind of want everyone to have a statistics class so they understand how people can use them to lie. And they might be scientist degrees. Absolutely. I think for the most part it would just be helpful for people to understand the idea that statistics are just the not necessarily objective interpretation of data as opposed to the fact themselves. Like, statistics are just numbers, but when someone presents them to you, they're making a choice about what they mean. They're trying to make a good choice. They're trying to use logic to put it all together, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're correct. Or sometimes they're not trying to make a good choice, sometimes they're trying to make a specific choice that they need you to believe. Angelus Folly says, at least Spider's George taught an extended generation what an outlier is. Yep, fair enough. That's right. It's Sarah with T on Twitch. Come for the birds in armor. Stay for the lessons on interpreting statistics and dishonesty in politics. I'm just going to draw this line 3,000 more times wrong. Yep, still wrong. Maybe if I put it in this angle, maybe it'll be less wrong. Yep, it is. It's less wrong from there. Good. Oh dear, Evolve says, in fairness, our craft, they would probably have to create 30 different types of cannabis gin if they were to use female plants. And our craft says, speaking as someone who currently has 27 different bottles of gin, I fail to see the problem. The Mappy Science says, wasn't it Mythbusters that the difference between dicking around and science is just writing stuff down? Yeah, that sounds like the right source. Did I put a... Well, I guess when I got to this side of the drawing, I really gave up on the corn maze, huh? Well, I'm sure that's fine. I'll figure something out. Good luck with your tutorial class, They Might Be Scientists. See you later. Yeah, like you notice, I sketched whole corn stalks over here, and over here I just fully gave up. Really stopped caring. I was like, yeah, it's corn, you understand what I've done. You can fill in the rest mentally, it'll be fine. Angela's Flaw says, I wonder if you could get away with copy pasting the cluster you have on the left. I could, but will I? I might. If I'm honest. I might do that. Let's see. Put you there. Nope, just gonna have to draw that middle bit in. Can I get away with it? Yes, I can. Jabberwocky Pie wants to know if past error caused problems for present error. No, because I can draw corn without having planned it beforehand. It's less about that and more about my amusement at being able to see when I stopped bothering. The thing about sketching is that there's a difference between sketching for yourself and sketching for other people. And those lines sometimes blur. So on a certain level, it's like, oh, this is what the corn looks like. And after a certain number of versions of that, I can just be like, yeah, but I'll know later that that's what I meant. But you might not know later that that's what I meant. So you might need more detailed corn all the way through. Or you might be watching me draw live and see me drawing the corn and go, I get the rest of this is probably corn also. And then it will be fine. Just turn off. Yes, good. Angel's Father says over here, a suggestion of corn. Basically, yes. Like, oh, if you can see that this is corn, this is close enough. But sometimes Sometimes I really should have planned, and I don't, because I believe that my future self will know what my past self was thinking. That's not always true. Artcraft's final word on cannabis gin is not bad, but not really my cup of tea, and thus not really worth the rather steep price to me. Might be different for someone who is into intensely herbal gins. And as Hannah says, thank you for satisfying our immense curiosity. And speaking of the steep price of cannabis gin, if you enjoy these gin reviews that I read out from chat from Artcraft, our gin expert, or at least the person with all of the gin, you can drop a tip to the Ko-Fi Rick's Gin Fund linked in chat to help support future gin reviews and the purchase of more gin. Oh no, Jabberwocky Pie. Jabberwocky Pie is saying, for example, I decided to kind of wing it on a crochet thing, but I didn't write down what I did, and now I need to make a second one. I've done that. It's the same thing as when I change a baking recipe, but don't make a note of what I did. And then in the future, I'm like, oh, how did I make those cookies turn out so well? I'll never know. I didn't write it down. I did something different, but I don't know what. And now it's lost to the ages. There we go. Filling in the corn. Good corn. Right on time. Got this whole Quail Resurrection corn maze all set. Oh no, Artcraft once made a little jewelry box type thing out of chainmail to give away, but didn't take any pictures and promptly forgot how they did it. Yep, it's that's you gotta write down your choices when you're making a thing. So we got ourselves zombie corn maze. Just group those together. The horrors of the deep. And remember from Friday, the Cordelia movie poster will never not be fun. All of your favorites. And it's 7 p.m. so we're gonna wrap ourselves up. We've had our gin review, we've finished our corn maze, got those zombie quail all set there. I'm gonna turn down this infomercial music just a little bit. It's gotten very cheerful here at the end. Don't know quite what to make of that. So we've inked our excellent horror. Patrons, after I shut all this down, I'll put these up on Patreon for coloring pages for you if you feel the need to color Zombie Quail. Phelps says, no, that time went too quickly. I know, it has been a whole 2 hours. Well, actually, it's been 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 51 seconds. But close. But close, and I'm sitting here realizing that I have no plan for dinner. Guess I'm gonna make myself pancakes. That seems fine. Pancakes or an omelet. I don't know. Easy food. I will go on a quest this evening to try and figure out what we can do tomorrow together to not think about the US election. In the meantime, as Honeycomb posted, because I'm bad at self-promotion, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/SarahWithT. It's in the banner at the top of the stream, and a link is below. That is where these coloring pages will show up, and that is where you should go if you want to do sketch requests. That brings us to the next bit of news. Friday this week will be sketch request day, so patrons with sketch requests, I'll post a thing for you in Patreon. Feel free to tell me what you'd like there, or DM me on Twitter, or message me in any way you happen to have access to. And I will get a list of sketch requests ready for Friday's stream. And is there any other news or information? I don't think so. Pay attention to Twitter. I'll keep you updated on Let's Not Think About the Election tomorrow with tweets. I'll seek out some content. It will not be art content because I will be unprepared to be creative. Instead, I will do a thing and say words to you out loud online. Don't know what the thing is, but I'll definitely say words. In the meantime, everybody have a good night. Stay safe. Vote safe if you still need to do that. Try to get some rest. Try to let the stress go. Now I'm just talking to myself. Just, take a couple of deep breaths. Get through it. Get through it together. And I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.